1, 0. What's going on, hustlers? Back at you guys with another video. We haven't done one of these in a while. This is our first one of 2025. We have a very special guest. We have a very resilient guest here with us. We have Mr. Erwin Santos. Erwin, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself, and kind of give us like the rundown on where you're at. And then I'm also here with my right-hand man, Mr. Sam, who's back in the UK for the first time ever that he's been on the channel. He's in the same place.
Yeah, it's good to be home. It's good to be home.
Great. Yeah, so my name is Erwin of, ironically, formerly of Office Med Supplies. I just left the company 24 hours ago, but that will not deter my DLA journey. I fell into government contracting 2 years ago. So I wound up working with a team, and we really primarily work on micro purchases with purchasing agents that we're familiar with, and it was going okay. But then I kept coming across other possible streams of income with the government, and I came across Day on another podcast, Eric Coffee, and I'm like, hey, this is what's DLA. I would love to learn about it. So I would watch a thing or two that I saw that came up on him, and we just kept doing our thing. And then one day I came across another podcast with him on it, and he said something really smart that said, maybe if you're going something, you should go after something that's older. And I said to myself, wow, this guy's actually giving real world knowledge, not just fluff. And I'm like, you know what? This is someone I really want to pay attention to. So then, as time went on and time went on, and all of a sudden I saw him. What sealed the deal is I saw him on another podcast, Sheena, I believe.
Sheena, yeah, Sheena.
And just the way you talk, I said to myself, I came across so many other gurus in my feed, to be totally honest with you. And I have like a bullshit meter, and I'm like, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. This guy's real. Bullshit, bullshit. This guy's kind of real. But whenever I came across you, it was like, I understand them. I understand what he's saying. Maybe some of the videos I don't relate because I'm much older, but I said I can get the knowledge and I understand it. So I just kept waiting and waiting. And then, as we were going on last year, I said to myself, we need to find another revenue stream. And I said, you know what? Let's get the course. And I said, because there are things that he's talking about that he's giving real world gems of knowledge. But at the same time, I know there's a lot more to it. So then basically, when I got the course, the first, I think, 1 to 2 hours, and I was inhaling so much knowledge, I said, wow, okay, this is real, that's real. Because even before I took your course, I actually bid on literally one contract, and then somebody asked me for traceability. So I said to myself, and that was only from your YouTube, just small bits of knowledge. And I said,
the free stuff.
So I said, okay, there's real value to this. So I've literally gone through, I'd like to say, 40% of the course, and I've learned so much that I can do things with speed and very good accuracy. So I just like to say, you always, what you produce and say, it's the real deal, all no filler, all real.
I appreciate that. Yeah, the first couple of days, or the first couple of hours, I should say, it is like drinking water through a fire hydrant, just because like there's a lot of stuff, but our thought process is always just like, okay, how do we condense as much knowledge and information as possible and give people like the tangible like nuggets, like the needle movers, right? Because there's a lot of information out there. You could give somebody information and tell them something that they don't know, but it might not be the thing that generates just dollars or the thing that moves the needle, right? So those first couple of hours, it's just like, okay, we got to tell everybody everything that we know that will move the needle and then like generate actual results, kind of thing. So that was the thought process of it, and I'm glad that you were able to go through it, and then before even finishing, you were able to put some of that stuff into action, because a lot of people will read stuff or look at YouTube videos, right, and I can make them until I'm blue in the face. But realistically, it's more so a testament to you, because the only people that actually see results in this world are like the trigger pullers, the people that take action, kind of thing. So more so than anything, it's a testament to you. And yeah, I'm glad that you're resilient and you've kept fighting and stuff like that. And I'm glad to have you here with us this evening.
That's when you actually cement the skill set as well of winning contracts. Like you can absorb all the information, watch all the videos, but if you don't actually start hitting up the doing your outputs and actually bidding on things and implement the processes, then you can actually start winning contracts consistently. But for you, Erwin, as well, like I'm curious to know more just about how before you started doing contracts specifically with the DLA, what were you doing before that?
Okay, so my company, we have a group. There's a group of 8 salespeople, and back staff. So pretty much, I like to call us scavengers.
Mhm.
We scavenge, RQFs, and there are also other purchasing agents that are familiar with the staff. So it's just send, or try to get, bid. So pretty much, okay, we have an RQF that has 15 lines on it. Let's see what we can get, from Amazon or here, there. Send it in. Get an answer, yes or no, go, no go. Because we do have results. We're not one of those companies that, we say we do things and we didn't. We have record. My Office Med Supplies LLC, off the top of my head, 9J VQ5 is my cage code. You can look us up.
Fact check them. Google
Yeah,
them.
you could fact check. We know what we're doing. Well, I kind of knew what I'm doing. I'm on my way out. you know but right now, so we knew, but we focused on that. But I'm like, DLA, this is a totally untamed, area.
Wild West.
So, past the Wild West. It's like times of like Conan the Barbarian riding around on a horse, kill something and eat it. But basically, for lack of a better word, the DLA tells you what they need, you know, but it's your job to take the next steps to complete the process. But what I learned from you is, when you start, people don't realize to get from point A to point C, you have to know B.
Correct.
Once you know B, then maybe you can get to C. And then when you get to C, then you gotta learn how to get the next letter and the next. It's a process. It's not get rich quick.
It's not a get rich quick scheme. Thank you for saying that, because when I say it, people think that I'm like just trying to deter them from doing this. But when somebody who's done it says that is not getting paid to be here, has no incentive to say that, it adds a lot more authenticity to it. But go ahead, Sam. I'm gonna try and do something today. I'm gonna try and speak the least amount possible, because you guys see my all the time. But I'm gonna see how few words I can get away with.
Well, it's funny because I remember Owen and we had our first conversation probably back in like October. I don't know if you remember. Owen, I know there's a few logistical things which you had to sort out first, but we had a long conversation just about your situation. But I'm curious as well, I'm sure for the people watching, like you were talking about like your bullshit meter, and I think a lot of people have to have a bit of a sense of that online nowadays, of what's actually useful information and what's not. But for your experience, like what was some of your biggest concerns when you were at that point of like, okay, I'm going to reach out, look at possible ways to get help with this? What were some of your concerns, and like what made you decide, okay, this is the route for me to go, whether that's DLA and specifically with us? Talk us through that.
For me, two things. If somebody makes it sound too easy, then no. Like literally no. If it's all glitz and glam, and I'm not gonna lie to you, social media buzz, no, that's not for me. That doesn't work. And then if you think you're wowing me off surface level information, not for me. That's not. And then I would just keep watching. Whenever I came across you guys on anything, I would just pick up, okay, this is real. Okay, this is real. And I said to myself, the free stuff this guy's putting out, someone's gonna, make a clicks funnels and charge $9.99 for it. And I said, if he's teaching you They is teaching you surface level. You know what I mean? Real surface level for free. Then it says, then you know it's going to be the real deal. And yes, look, I did my research. I looked, I read, like whenever I saw him anything, he would say, fact check me. You know what I mean? I even called out a guru once, honestly, on YouTube because he kept coming in my feed, and I'm like, okay, you know what? For ha-has, I'm gonna message on the thing. I said, this looks great. I would love to learn more, but I gotta be honest with you. I would like to know, like, what have you done? Can I fact check you? Like, what's your cage code? And then I got some long private message of how he couldn't give me the
Nah.
code so I could check his work. And I said to myself, and I just did that honestly too, just to troll him and just to know that I bet you he answers this way, and he did. And fact check the people that you're buying something from, because this is all hard earned money that where you're paying for a course and you're paying for someone to teach you. They are not. Here's another thing: when you buy a course, it's not going to just automatically bring you money. You got to do the work. You know what I mean? You have to realize that if someone's selling you a dream, that's what they're selling you, a dream. Me, I'm a very good talker. I bet you if I could do an AI thing, I could sell you a course too. You know what I mean? On anything, I could tell you how to bake a cake and make it look nice. But do I know how to do it? No. But you guys, you do your research, and I think if you did do the research, it led me to these guys are the real deal. They are it. At the same time, too, Sam, to be honest with you, we had our initial call. And then I think a couple of times afterwards, I had a couple of very simple questions for you, and you answered them. It wasn't like, oh man, I couldn't close the guy on the first deal. I'm not gonna, no, it wasn't any hard feelings. I didn't close them at the moment. You did your elevator pitch, and of course I did my question and answer. You know what I mean? And then look, we all try to close. You know what I mean? You tried to put that hook in. The hook was good, but no matter how good the hook is, someone like me, it ain't gonna work on the first time because I'm gonna fact check everything.
Look us up, cage code 8 Bravo Papa Echo 2. Check out not my last video, second to last video, 72 grand, $72,000 contract in 27 days and $7,700 net profit. I left and people were saying, "Oh, this guy's teaching, he can't really do it." And I was like, "Just watch." I had to go learn how to teach people how to not kill themselves in the plane, but this is what I was doing for money before I went to go do that. So go check that video, go fact check us. But back to Sam, and big shout out to Sam, because one thing that Erwin mentioned, no hard feelings, right? If you feel like it's not the right time, or like we're not a good fit for you, but you want to come back and you need more clarification or you need another question answered, you can always do that, because at the end of the day, the most paramount thing for us is making sure that people have like pertinent accurate, tangible information to move them along in their journey. So even if you decide that we're not a good fit and you decide to speak to Sam and then you want to double back, Sam will answer your questions. Sam will take care of you guys. So there's no hard feelings. So don't feel like if you spoke to us once and then it didn't work out, you can't come back to us and just get clarity on something. Just if you're looking for a nugget, just reach out to us, kind of thing. At the end of the day, that's what we're here for. That's like our primary goal, is making sure you guys have accurate information and making sure you guys have the tools that you need to win.
And that's the biggest thing. Because if you have the tools as well, then like you can actually win. And we only want successful students. Because I knew as soon as Owen came in, the first thing he said was, "I'm going to be on one of these calls telling you when I've won my first contract." And I was like, "I know you're a man of your word, because I've been talking to you for a couple of months. I know you're going to come in and do it. Like, otherwise I wouldn't be like responding to you and like pushing you to be like, we can make this happen." Do you know what I mean?
And like I told you, I got the class at the end of November. It took me, truthfully, 3 weeks to digest everything. I started bidding on the December 27th, and no, maybe a little bit earlier, but ironically, and this is also what I want to tell everybody to be out there. When they say to you when you're in the class, reach out, we'll get back to you. I couldn't even imagine how many other gurus will sell you their class and you'll never hear from them again. I literally, after 5 days of bidding, someone asked me a question, an officer. I forget what the thing was called. You know what I mean? I was in shock. I was scared. I sent it today, and he literally reached back and went line by line. This is this, this is that. So before I wrote back the agent, and then I wrote back the agent 2 days later, I didn't hear back, but at least I know I did it. I responded, and I was good. See, that's what people got to realize. You work with these guys because they do what they say. They cannot bring, they can lead you, but they're not going to put it right in front of you and spoon feed you. You
You
know
can
what I
lead a
mean?
horse
You
to
do
water.
that yourself.
You can't make it drink. You cannot make it drink. But I'm glad that you brought that up. It's a lifetime thing. If 5 years from now you have my phone number, you have my personal cell number. If you shoot me a text and you're like, "Yo, what does this mean? I need help with this." I will get back to you. I called you on Super Bowl Sunday. I'll be fully transparent. I was violently hungover, and I was like, "Hold on, guys. I cannot shoot pool right now. I have to take this call, and I have to talk to Erwin." And we talked for like 45 minutes, and I was completely happy to do it on Super Bowl Sunday. Completely happy to do it.
Yeah, because you're offering a real class. I just don't want to reiterate that to people. You're offering a real product, and that's, I'm not gonna be honest with you, not too many people do that. You do. And I have to say, if people just have to know that you are a real teacher and you do what you say. And then at the same time, be like, wait, if there's so many people doing DLA, I don't want too many people doing it. Well, let me tell you something. The amount of solicitations I come across and I look, there is something for everyone.
For everyone.
For everyone. I haven't found my total lane yet, but I know I'm gonna find the total lane. Because look, I have 2 wins, and that's me from probably only knowing, truthfully, 55%. You know what I mean? But the 55% I know, I learned from you, and I'm executing because it's real knowledge.
I appreciate that. My man.
So, and you mentioned, and so your journey was about 3 weeks to digest all the information. You mentioned you then started bidding. So, where are we at now in terms of one, like the wins you've achieved along the way, and the biggest things, more on a technical level, the biggest things that you've learned that's going to set you up going forward?
Okay, so one of the most important things I hope people do not take for granted is you really have to know how to read a solicitation. You can make a big mistake and not know it. Learn, what's UI, what's EA, what's pack. Learn those things. You know what I mean? You if you don't know how to read solicitation first and do it correctly, you've already made a mistake and you won't know until, God forbid, you win. And all of a sudden you bid, for 1 unit and you weren't paying attention, but you
It's
don't realize instead of one, it said package, and the package has 100 in it. You know what I mean? So guess what? You only have two choices. Either you ask them to cancel it for you, or you eat it. Now if it's a bunch of small screws that you can eat for 39 cents, fine, no problem. If it's a piece of something that costs $30, it always went from $30 to 3,000, a little bit of a problem. You know what I mean? A little bit of the problem. So that's one of the most important things. And everything else I think will come with time. It'll come with time, and you can just go back and read some other stuff. And a little bit of a, like, Dave likes to say, these nuggets. He's not just showing you, he's giving you stuff to read. Okay? You have it. You can go to it. It's a cheat sheet, go this way, go that way. Hey, who else can beat that? Nobody.
Absolutely. And how many contracts have we won now, Erwin?
2,
Two.
nothing earth shattering, but at the same time, and I've been very, transparent with Day last time I talked to him. I haven't found my lane yet, but I literally muscled through with what I do know and was able to do something. Now, could you imagine if I able to refine what I'm doing more now? Sky's
But
the limit.
still, you said you only started bidding towards the end of December, right? And so we're only coming to mid to late February. That's pretty quick. It's pretty quick
And
to win two already. That's not bad.
And I still have, believe it or not, 180 bids not answered yet.
So you've got a pipeline. You've planted the seeds, and I'm sure if you didn't do anything, if you just stopped, you would win at least another two, at least, conservatively speaking, another two. Realistically, probably closer to like 3 or 4 contracts just from what you have in the pipeline. But we're gonna hop on a call this upcoming week, and we'll discuss the things that we were talking about prior to the camera rolling, and we'll sort some stuff out.
Well, then I tell you this: in 3 to 4 months, when I tell you how many we've won and the value, game over.
Game over. Game over.
Well, you're a man of your word, and they're the students we like to work with, because you said when you joined, you were like, February, you're going to be on one of these interviews when you've won your first contract, and we're here with 2 in that time frame. So You make it happen, and we give you we will give everyone the tools. We will literally walk you through step by step, but it's the students are the ones that have to actually put it in place, and you're a prime example of making that happen.
I think honestly, that's all it is. The both of you, both have given us the tools. And, on a side note, which I don't think you guys really talk about too much, you guys have like this community, you know what I mean, that I joined. And let me tell you something. Great community. People are willing to learn from each other. We were all brought together, through you, Day. And how do I say it? Even though we're all in the same business, everyone is helping each other. You got a question? Don't be ashamed. Ask it. If you have a win, everyone there is happy for your wins. If all of a sudden you mess up, guess what? Everybody's there to help pick you up. And that has been a big source of inspiration to me. Because look, I will throw such a remedial question out there. Somebody gets back to me. I'm having a bad day, and I go, I can't believe this. How did I mess this up? Somebody picks you up. But then when I said, oh, I had my first win, and I took a picture of this really small box, everybody was so happy. So that's something else I don't think people realize too. You have a community, and the community is there for each other. We're all technically we're all sharks in the same waters, but no one is attacking each other. We all know
it's a big ocean as well. It's a big ocean that you guys are swimming in, so there's plenty for everyone to eat.
Huge. So listen, you guys, real deal. It's there. It's really proof of concept. I would almost guarantee so many other gurus out there have no real proof of concept, and if they do talk about something, I want to talk bad, but if they have someone to highlight, it's a fluke. Because here's the other thing I've noticed about other people. They talk about the number. Oh, I got this $10,000 blah 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 blah, and okay, anyone can sell for $10,000. How much did you make off that $10,000? Did it cost you $9,999? Made a dollar? I believe in business. It's called digging down. There's top line revenue. There's the cost. There's this and that. Everyone talks about the sexy number. Let's talk about the real number.
I tell you guys what the profit is on every single one. The big number's sexy. It's cool. It looks nice for the thumbnail, but gotta be transparent. I show you guys every contract that I've ever gone over on the channel. I always show you guys. Listen, it was 72 grand, but I made 7.7. It was a 12% profit margin. 12%. It's not a crazy big number in terms of a margin, but when you're dealing with a big pie, it's a pretty nice number. But gotta be transparent, right? You can show that number to bring people in, but to retain their information, to retain their attention, you have to give them that information of being like, listen, this is what it says on the contract, but this is at the end of the day what we're really taking home, kind of thing. And those, at the end of the day, those are the numbers that people care about. Those are the numbers that help you pay your bills or help you put food on the table, right? Like Erwin said, it's $10,000 in revenue and it's $9,999. You can't feed you can't feed a family off a dollar menu quarter pounder from McDonald's. You can't do that. So
No, no,
you got to show people what the bottom line number is.
trust me. My 2 wins, you know what it got me? Got me a value meal. But you know what? I knew what I was going after. I was doing proof of concept work. You know what I mean? I knew it. I'm doing proof of concept work. Why am I going to go toward a $20,000 contract? First of all, I don't have $20,000 lying around, but why am I going to go for a $20,000 contract when, you know, I have no business doing it? You have to also know your strengths and your limitations. You know, don't do pie in the sky, because you know what happens if you do win something and all of a sudden you can't pull it off. Well, then what in the world is the use? There's no use. There's so many things that people I come across that do things that they don't think it through. You know, so think it through. You know, think
Yeah,
it through.
yeah, and I like that because when I speak to people as well, when students are considering coming in, I say to them all the time, the biggest thing for us is we don't need to run before you can walk. Like the skill set is what's going to set you up long term. Because now we're having a different conversation. Now, before it was like, let's get some contracts in the door. Now we're talking more, okay, next few months, how can we now we know that we've got the skill set, we know the process, how can we go for something bigger? How can we, as you said yourself, how can we make this, game over time? Like completely different conversation, right?
Correct, and that's how it is. And look, everything that you teach leads to that. You know, I believe that you guys pretty much cover everything that may come up. Of course, some things may slip through the cracks, but you know, you cannot cover every single situation. You know what I mean? That's impossible. That's impossible and improbable.
Mm,
You
mm.
know?
Well, Owen, so what's more specifically, what is next for you in your company over the next few months? What's the plans?
Well, I'm gonna take a little bit time to regroup, you know, since I'm unfortunately moving on from,
Hmm.
my company. I think maybe this may sound funny, but the hardest thing I gotta do is come up with a name. And then from there, I may even truthfully document for myself, because Dave's course shows you step by step by step how to start from the beginning. So imagine that. I didn't even think I would have to use that part of the course. Guess what? It's there, you know? So I'm going to rewatch that part again because I probably didn't pay attention too much the first time because I thought I wouldn't have to do it, start to finish. Exam registration, do this, do that, register with the DLA, get your postcard. Even other things. Make sure your SAM registration is like this. Make sure it's like this when you're doing your registration for the DLA. You know, then we're gonna take it from there. And then once I've gone through that part, a couple of weeks, then I'm just gonna take a breath and you know what? Log in, look, circle, circle, circle. Okay, I'm gonna go after this. I'm gonna go after that. Let's make a timeline for this. But right now, even since I don't have my registration, I'm still gonna, how do I say it? I'm still gonna stay sharp and keep theoretically bidding without bidding. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna do.
Another thing that you could do in the meantime, I was talking about this with one of our other students. If you find something, you can still RFQ on it and reach out to somebody in the community to bid on it for you, and then you come up with a profit sharing agreement. There's two people now that are doing that in the community, and they're just like, listen, I'll find the stuff, I'll do the legwork, you just submit the bid, you put my cage code as the place of packaging and inspection. That way I can still drum up some dollars and still make some money.
Trust me, if somebody wants to work that with me, I may inundate them with stuff I've read. And they'd be like, "Hey, I think this, and this." So it would not be pretty.
Listen, that's the nitty gritty side of business, though. Sometimes that's what it takes. You got to do what you got to do to survive, and that's the part that a lot of people don't see. Is like the moments like these when you're just like, I literally am starting over from ground zero, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna figure it out, and all I can do is just stack the blocks, and maybe that entails me working with another company in the meantime until all my paperwork gets sorted, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really there are opportunities for everything. Especially I believe in this field, even with all the craziness happening right now with government spending and all these things. I believe this DLA space will be fine. That's what I believe. defense never goes back. That's
If America's cutting spending, defense is the last thing to go. The military is the last thing to go. God knows, whatever your political affiliations are, the last thing to get less money is the military. So,
but listen, these two, real deal, super real deal. I am telling you, real deal.
I appreciate that, my man.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all of our questions there. I mean, the last thing we really want to round off, Erwin. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. I think the last thing is really, if you cast your mind back to when you were considering getting into the DLA specifically, what for someone who was in your shoes back then, what kind of final bit of advice would you leave with them?
Ah, it's scary and it's hard, but if you're willing to learn, you can do it. And if you're looking to accelerate the process of your learning curve, you reach out to the right people. You know what I mean? And that can accelerate your ability to have success. I didn't say accelerate your success, it'll accelerate your ability to have success. We don't I don't think you guys don't sell dreams. You guys sell knowledge. And that's what sets you guys apart, I believe, from everybody else. Look, if anybody wants to reach out to me and really ask me, look, I will tell you the honesty of the how hard it is and how scary it is. And I have no horse in the race. You know what I mean? There's no horse in the race for me. But if you're gonna, I believe if you want like real knowledge to say, okay, how hard is it? Look, I'll be honest with you. The pitfalls, look, I'll be honest with you. But then I'll tell you, you really want the knowledge? I will point you who to go to. I will point to you who to go to.
Appreciate that, my
Perfect.
man. Yeah, can't say enough good things about you, and we'll chop it up, you and I, just in private later this week, and we'll sort some stuff out as we go back to the drawing board. But yeah, I really just can't say enough good things about how resilient you are and things like that. There's there's people who would be in your situation and then they roll over, and then there's very few people, which we're very fortunate enough to know, people like Rudy and people like Calvin and people like Christian and stuff like that, who they're just like, you know what, even if I get punched in the mouth, I'm gonna keep it rolling, and then they see the other side of it. So uh,
Those are the people I chat with all the time. Like that's the thing. I that's the people I chat with all the time. You know what I mean? And truthfully, it comes from the top. You guys are on the top. You know what I mean? And you show everyone the culture, and this is our culture, and this is the way it's gonna be. You know what I mean? And you can't listen. You can't top that. You can't top that at all.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. On that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me and Erwin and my right hand man, Mr. Sam. And yeah, not only am I looking forward to your success, I am absolutely sure of it. Let's go print those dollars.